gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so my name is KLM. I am a Mega Man speedrunner. I currently specialize in Mega Man 3. Currently working on the Buster Only category, so this is what we'll be seeing today. This particular stage here is considered one of the hardest stages of the run, which is why I do it first for reset purposes. So that first screen is very difficult there. A lot of sliding, a lot of precise shots there. So right here we're going to try to do a zip, which saves 2 seconds, and we got it there. The real tough part about this stage is going to be the final section, where there'll be what we call single block slides, which is the fastest way to navigate through that section, but if you make any mistakes then you're going to take a death. The thing that makes it so difficult is Mega Man cannot jump out of his slide in the first 8 frames, and if you see how small these single blocks are coming up, you can see how much timing and practice really comes into play here. So I'm going to see how we can do here. Okay. Alright, and we're through. We're going to grab that E-tank because we're going to need it later for the dock stages. Here we're going to do 2 buffer shots so we can slide and jump over this stomper. Alright, that's a pretty good stage. And we'll come to the Gemini fight here. So this fight is pretty much scripted. There are 2 clones here. Once you get about half of his health down, he'll merge down to 1. And then we'll finish the fight. There is a quicker way to do this fight, by turning and shooting and hitting both at the same time. See, I didn't kill him quick enough, so he ended up shooting the laser at me, but I had enough health there, so that's okay. Alright, that was pretty clean first stage. So the thing about this run, or this game in general, is just it's famous for its mashing, and it's famous for the amount of lag that is generated. So the faster you can mash, and the quicker we can kill enemies and despawn enemies, will make the game run a lot faster. It was also the first of the classic Mega Mans to introduce the slide, and I don't know what the exact number is, but Mega Man moves about 2.5 times faster when he's in a slide animation. Hold on here, we get the Proto Man fight, or as we call it, Red Guy. This is all about mashing here, so that was pretty good. So yeah, Mega Man moves about 2.5 times faster in a slide animation than does walking, so we want to try to slide as much as possible. So the game is very much mashing, movement, and lag reduction. So here we can see we're just sliding at the right times, we're killing all these enemies, trying to keep as little, because the buster shots, each sprite is going to contribute to the lag. So just use some precise movement there. So this section is one of the toughest sections in any percent if you're going top first, and in this run. These are random, these parachutes, as far as how low they will drop. Okay, right there I had to avoid a life pickup because they will they'll eat your inputs. So I think I had full health there, so I should have been fine. But basically, if you get a pickup and then you try to jump out of a slide, that jump input will basically get eaten, and then you'll fall right into the pit. So that's why I turned back there. So a lot of the RNG that is basically taken away in the any percent run comes into play in the Buster Only runs as far as the boss fights go. So he's giving me a sick pattern here. So he can he'll do 3 jumps and either slide or he'll throw the Shadow Blades there. You want him to slide, so he slid pretty much every time, so that was actually perfect. And then he'll jump 3 times in between each either slide or throw, and the height of the jump depends as well. But he gave me, that was like a perfect pattern there. Doesn't get any better than that. Alright, so these 3 stages, the reason why I do these 3 first is because they are the hardest of the 8. Shadow and Needle stages aren't particularly hard, but the boss fights, the Robot Master fights are. They're very RNG dependent, especially this fight here, so this first screen is very mash heavy, so just try to buffer these shots in to make it a little easier. Yeah, that wasn't terrible, but could have been better. Anyways. Alright, so this section, again, is just going to be a lot of sliding, a lot of shooting at the right time to kill these enemies quickly. I'm going to mess that up. That's okay. This stage you want to try to take as least damage as possible because you want to have as much health going into the Needleman fight, because he can give you some really rotten patterns, and a lot of runs will end to Needleman, not only here, but in the refights as well. Okay, so because I took some damage, I'm going to have to shoot these guys down. Usually I would just damage boost past them. Okay, that's good. I might even consider killing this guy too. Hopefully get a health pickup. No, okay, that's fine. It's not much slower than sliding under him after that first jump, so we're good. Anyway, so the Needleman fight is very RNG dependent. He will do 2 attacks. He'll throw needles at you, and then he'll also use his head to shoot at you just like that, which does a ton of damage, so we gotta kind of like do these jumps. Okay, see, that's really shitty. You don't want to get stuck in the corner there. So the way we manipulate this is, it's gonna be a really bad pattern. That's a really bad jump too. So we'll let him shoot 2, and then we'll jump to make him shoot the other 2 over your head. Okay, that was a really bad pattern. That was some pretty crummy luck, and I finished all the way to the left side of the screen, so you can see how Mega Man had to walk all the way to the center. So ideally, we want to finish these fights right in the center of the screen to be quicker. But at that point, I mean, he gave me the worst, or the worst luck there. So I just wanted to finish the fight. So we got through, which is the important thing. These next couple of stages are, I don't want to say they're free, but these are the 2 most popular stages that you're going to start the runs at. This is the one that I start at, so I have a lot of experience doing this one Buster only. There's some cool tricks in here I'll try to go for. So yeah, since this is the beginning of my any percent run, I've played this level more than any other ones. So we'll try to get a good one here. This is another fight that is scripted. It's the same every time, so he's not going to give you any RNG as far as the Robot Master fight goes. Okay, so that strat we call Task Dozer. Get 3 shots in right off the ledge there to kill the Dozer. Now, before we get down there, the thing about those Dozers too, let me talk about these cats first. That's really good. To jump, those cats take 10 damage. It's a really good sign of your jump mashing if you can get them in 2 jumps. I'll show what I did there. Let's see if we can do it here as well. Okay, 3 jumps. 3 jumps is even still good. This part I'm probably just going to baby. You want a single block slide on those 2, but that room could be a nightmare. I've lost plenty of runs to that room. This one we'll go for, though, this top skip at the end. Okay, we missed it. That's alright. That's about a 30-second death. But basically, if you jump there, and that last top will kind of push you to the end. Mistimed it a little bit, but that's okay. So it's not too costly. I'll baby that one again. Especially since we just took death there. Okay, so we'll do this the safe way this time. Just kidding, we went for it anyways, but we got lucky and hit the top, so. Alright, so this fight, again, is scripted. This is the same every time. So we'll try to get 3 hits in there. The thing about Top Man is why, one of the reasons why we do it first is because he's one of the only bosses where the Buster does 2 damage per shot, the other one being Magnet Man. So those are like the first. Those are like the 2 runs that you'll start first with. Either Magnet first or Top first. There is Gemini first as well, because you can also get 2 hits in, or you can do 2 damage basically by shooting clone there. But anyways, we're through Top stage. We'll go into Magnet stage next. So this is the other one where you'll start your runs at. This first section will navigate a bunch of pits and some magnets that are going to pull at you here. I mean, doing this part casually is a lot more difficult than it is using the speed strats. It's a lot more scary, but... So we've got another Proto Man fight here. Alright, so the sign of a good Proto Man fight there is to kill him by the right wall. There's a faster strat there to do where you'll slide to the left side of the screen and then follow and jump mash at him. We weren't able to get there, so that's fine. You want to take as little amount of damage here as possible, because you do need to sometimes take damage boosts against Magnet Man in the fight. He'll give you 2 different patterns. Either he'll do like the magnet barrier, or he'll jump at you. If he does the barrier, you want to take damage at him. So this Yoko Block section, which is famous in pretty much every Mega Man game there is. It's just learning the pattern and learning the quickest way through there. Here we're going to take damage and slide through this guy. And no damage boost there too. Alright. So we're through. We'll see what kind of luck we get here. Alright, kind of messed that up a little bit. Alright, that wasn't too bad. There is a wonderful song that goes along with that stage. Shout out to Bass Guitar Bill. If you guys come by my channel at some point, I'll happily sing it for you guys. Alright, we'll move on to the next stage here. We're going into Hardman. I'm going to start off our Hardman stage. Here, the first section, we're going to despawn the bees here, so there'll be a lot of sliding back and forth here. Yeah, that's good. There'll be some more of those bulldozers here. I wanted to talk a little more about that. So they're infamous for having the wackiest hitboxes in the game. They seem to be just floaty, like they just disappear at some time, so hopefully we won't get any of that. There'll be 3 of them that we have to worry about, so... this section, we'll mash that first monkey, and then we'll manipulate that one. We'll just slide right across from it. Okay, and then we'll manipulate the one coming up here at the top of the ladder. Alright, so here we'll get to the dozers. We're going to get 1 shot in here, 2 there. We'll do the task dozer strat there. We missed it. And there, you can see that hitbox just disappeared on us. Okay, that was fun. My health is pretty low. There is a health pickup after the last Proto Man fight here, which we're going to have to grab now, because we need all the health we can against Hardman. That's a pretty sloppy fight, but we're through. We're gonna have to grab this health. We should be good here. I'll have to buffer that guy with a jump. And alright, now we'll get into the fight. Avoid taking damage this first. Okay. Oh jeez. Alright, this isn't good. Took way too much damage there. I hate to use V-Tank here, but might be good. No. Okay. We'll take a death there. That's fine. So you can see how you need as much health as possible there. I was going to use an E-tank, but I really want to save those for the dock stages because you can really get stuck there. In those dock stages without an E-tank, so we'll just come through and do this fight again. There is a way to manipulate the fight where you don't take any damage from his weapons here. I just wasn't able to execute it at the end of that fight. Alright, well, good news is we picked up a couple of extra lives along the way. So I still have 2 lives left, which is good. It's very important in Buster Only to be mindful of how many lives you have at all times. Just because there are a few spots, especially late in stages, where you can take a death, and it would be really unfortunate to go through an entire stage and take a game over. So we're good here. Still got 2. You start off with 2 lives, so we're pretty much right where we started, which is good. This stage is one of the more difficult ones in Buster Only, particularly the end of it, because in any percent runs, you're flying over the cloud section, so you never actually have to deal with those cloud platforms. Now, those cloud platforms have very janky hitboxes, and they will sometimes push you right off the edge if you're standing in the wrong spot. And they can also be kind of troublesome to slide and jump off as well. So we'll see how we do when we get there. But you never have to worry about them in the any percent run because you just use the jet to fly right over them. So when you start doing the Buster Only runs, you're not really familiar with them, and you just figure out just how difficult they can be. Okay, so we're coming up to the cloud platforms now. Okay. So I want to make sure... There we go. Okay, see, that jump would not have made it. So we'll reset that one. Should be good from here. Take damage here. Okay, we're good. Alright, the snake fight, we'll just be going back and forth, trying to land as many hits as possible. Trying to avoid taking damage from him, because it does a ton of damage. We can jump over him, which is fine. See how much lag those snakes cause as well. So that's the ideal pattern of just for him to run back and forth. Okay, and then we want to finish the fight on top of the platform there because it is the center of the screen. Otherwise, it takes a lot more time. But that's a pretty decent stage. Okay, then we're coming into the last stage of the 8 Robot Masters, Spark stage. It's pretty similar to the any percent run. So just a lot of time slides, time shots, and good movement here. There is the infamous section at the end of this stage with the elevator blocks. It's one of the only sections in the game, as I mentioned earlier, that's actually easier to do with the speed strats than to do casually. We'll see what that looks like when we get there. Here, we'll damage boost to this guy. You have to wait a second there or else you'll get hit there. Alright, so we're going to time 4 slides here. Good. Okay, we'll have another dozer here. Hopefully we'll land all 3 shots here. Alright. So coming up here, there's going to be these junk blocks here. We're going to kill this one to reduce the amount of lag. If you leave that block there, the lag is just incredible. So kill that one to reduce the lag in that room. Okay, this section here is the one I was talking about. So again, it's actually a lot easier to do with the speed strats than it is to do casually. A lot of new runners will actually take the jet and fly right over there. We obviously don't have the luxury in the Buster only run. There is a few times where we'll have to use the rush adapters, particularly in Dock Needle stage. We'll have to use jet for pretty much half the level, so we'll see that when we get there. So this fight is, the only RNG in this fight is where he's going to land after jumping around here. Ideally we want him to land as soon as possible so we can start getting our hits in, but that was actually a pretty good pattern. Alright, so now we will get into the most difficult part of the run here. These 4 stages, even in any percent, or doing it casually, this is the toughest part of the game. These stages are very difficult, the boss fights are very hard as well, especially in Buster only. These fights are very troublesome, which is why I want to save my E-tanks here, because I might need to use both of them. Ideally we won't, but okay, so here we're going to do a music despawn. Okay, we got it. So if you hit the spike and the screen transition at the same time, it despawns the music, which the music in this game actually causes lag. Because the NES does not have a separate sound, like a sound chip, so it's all run off the same processor. Despawning the music here actually saves about 2.5 seconds. That setup is almost guaranteed. I gotta be careful here. These platforms can be very temperamental. So, alright, we're through. I didn't want to take any damage throughout this first section because the upcoming fight here is very difficult. We got an extra guy just in case, and we got a refill. Okay. So this is Dock Wood. So the Dock stages, you'll fight 8 bosses. They are the bosses, the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. This is probably the most difficult one here. So his leaf shield that he throws does 8 damage. So we're going to use this strat here to jump over it. The falling leaves do 4, so if we're going to take any damage, but here I'm going to take damage intentionally to get on the other side of him and try to land as many hits in. Missed the sliding one, but we got 4 in there. And we'll try to replicate what we just did. Okay. Okay, we got hit that time, but that's okay. I'm probably going to use the E-tank here now just as a safety. We'll do the same thing, we'll try to slide and shoot. Yeah, that was good. Alright, good. Good fight. We have some more Parasues coming up here, as we saw in Shadow Man stage. First we'll make work with these Hammer Joes. Okay, so this section is... So you can see what happens when they give you the low jumps. This guy's gonna follow me as well, so we'll just pass. Okay, that was good. That section is very dangerous, because even if you take damage from one of those falling Parasues, if you take it high enough, they can actually... You'll take damage and you'll fall right back into the pit. There's nothing you can do about it. So, this is the Dock Heat fight. The speed strat we'll use here is to try to land 2 hits per cycle. You can see there, if you shoot him on the frame where he generates, or his sprite generates, you can get another hit in there. Usually you're only able to get 1 hit in. But we'll do this strat here to try to get 2 hits in as many times as we can to make the fight twice as fast. Pretty good job so far. And same with Heatman in Mega Man 2. I mean, he has 3 different patterns of how quickly he will do that kind of charging animation. Okay, I missed it there, so I only got 1 hit in there. Okay, good fight. For these, for the dock fights, dock stages, it doesn't matter where Mega Man is on the screen because he just warps. He doesn't walk to the middle of the screen. However, you do want to try to kill the Robot Masters in the middle of the screen because the game doesn't continue until those orbs leave the screen. But so this is probably again one of the most difficult levels in the game, just like Gemini that we saw earlier. Except no, it's just a stupid death. Oh, sorry, we'll get that one out of the way now. So again, it's just a lot of sliding, a lot of timing your shots here to kill these enemies as quick as possible. Here you'd like to single block slide these as well, but play a little bit safe. Just took that death. Just an all-time damage boost there. Okay, that's pretty good. Section. Yeah, we'll try to get a little wiggle here. Okay, we got it. So if you push left and right at the end of that slide transition there, it might actually get pushed forward a couple of frames. It's just a little faster. It's a little trick here. So these tadpoles, there's only 3 that can spawn at a time. So the way to make that part faster is to shoot 3 of them so they are spawned, so that way the rest of them that you shoot do not generate any more guys. So. This is the dock flash fight. This fight is very difficult as well. We're going to be timing our jumps so we can jump around him and avoid his shots as well, while also trying to land as many hits as possible. Because this next section coming up, we want to have enough health because we'll have the damage boost across a bunch of spikes, and we want to make sure that we have enough health to do that without taking an intentional death prior. Alright, that went really well. Alright, we have enough health here, so we'll see. This part we'll have to use coil to get up here, but then we'll switch right back. Right here. Okay, so this part we'll have to damage boost across. Usually you'll use Rush Marine or Rush Jet, but here we don't have the luxury, so we're gonna have to take damage here to get across this section. Now if you don't have enough health after the dock flash fight, you'll take a death in that first pit. And the checkpoint is right after that fight, so you'll be able to start with full health. But ideally, you want to have enough health so that way we don't have to take the death there. This is going pretty well. Okay, so now our health is really low, so what we'll do, and we have plenty of guys, so we'll slide and jump into this gate, because there are spikes at the top here, and if we hold jump, he'll just go right up and take a death there, and then we'll start right in that corridor with full health, so ensures that we can get through this fight first try without using any tank. That's a pretty cool trick. Or as I like to call it, the coolest death in the game. Alright, so here, he can shoot 1 to 3 bubbles. Here we actually want him to shoot 3 bubbles. So it allows us to land as many hits in as possible. Alright, that's good. Okay. Alright, so coming into Dock Spark next. So this stage also has 2 of the hardest boss fights here. Here we'll have to use coil, but we'll switch right back. This is what we like to call true blue. Stay blue at all times. This one, we actually have to use a special weapon in order. There's no other way to get past that enemy. So you either have to use the Gemini laser or the Shadow Blade to get past that. But otherwise, we'll switch right back. Okay, so we'll have some of the spring enemies here that we'll have to mash down. No problem. Okay. Now coming up is the dock metal fight, which is it's basically all about timing, timing your jumps and timing your shots to avoid his metal blades and make sure that you're landing your shots at the same time. The RNG in this fight is how high he jumps, so he's got 3 different jump heights. So you saw all 3 of them right there. So we'll do this back and forth kind of motion to land our hits in. The ideal jump is to that middle one there. If he does that high one, what we'll do is we'll shoot and then jump, so we avoid the metal blades, but we'll also land the shot in at the bottom. Just like that. It's a slow fight. There are ways of optimizing it to make sure you land 2 hits every cycle. Okay, that was really good. Good fight. Alright, there's a music despawn to do here. We'll go for it. Okay. So that's a dangerous trick. There's 2 different pixels you can get there. There's a safe pixel, which will either do the despawn or won't do anything at all. There's a more dangerous pixel right next to it on the left that has a higher success rate, but also has the chance of killing you. So that again is going to save us some time here. I'm not really sure what pixel I got there, to be honest. But we went for it anyways, and we got it. So this fight is very difficult as well. This is Doc Quick, so he will jump around at random, and he will also throw his boomerangs. Now he does 8 damage if you run into him personally, but his boomerangs do 2. So ideally we want to take damage off of those boomerangs and just kind of damage boost to get your hits in around him. I have an E-Tank to use if necessary. So the 2 E-Tanks that I get during the Robot Master stages, I'm going to have to use them here now, are specifically intended for Doc Quick and Doc Wood, which we did use them both there, but that's a really good fight. Alright, we got one more Doc stage here. This is Doc Needle. The interesting thing about the 2 Robot Master fights here is the Buster actually does 2 damage to these guys as well, as opposed to 1 for the rest of them. So we only need to land 14 hits as opposed to 28. So we had some mashing there. Here will just be some more precise movement and sliding to get around these needle presses here. Okay, so we're going to have to do a lot of switching here, so we're going to use Coil to get up here. Switch back to Buster. We're going to kill this spring enemy. Oh, we missed the swag strat there. I'm sorry, Kyle Precise, if you're watching. You love it so much. Alright, so there we need Coil for both screens, so we can keep it out, and we'll switch right back. Alright, so this is going to be Doc Air. He can get the RNG in this fight is he'll give you different patterns, just like in Airman and Mega Man 2. Different patterns of where he shoots. That's actually the perfect pattern that we want to start off with. Oh man, I'm really flopping this fight though. Slid into him twice. Oh, that's close. That would have been really unfortunate to take a death there, because the checkpoint is right here. I'm gonna try to, I have 1 hit left. I'm gonna try it here to get through this part. Usually you'll take an intentional death there, but we're just gonna go for it. The thing about this screen is the screen does wrap, so when you jump up here, Mega Man will actually wrap to the bottom of the screen. So if those dragonflies fly too low, you can actually hit them on the other end. So you gotta be very careful there. Okay, that's okay. Alright, switch back here. Alright, wish me luck. That's like a phantom damage there. You get the damage animation, but it doesn't do any damage, so this part's very scary. Okay, we got it. Okay, should be okay here. Gotta be very careful here. Okay. Alright, we made it. I just gotta be careful on this fight. Again, I only need to land 14 hits here, but it's the body damage and his bombs do 4 damage each, so. fight, honestly. Nope. That's okay. We start right here, right in the corridor. Yeah. There's a running joke as well that I don't know where any of the checkpoints are because I don't die to any of the Pop Masters, which is not happening here, so that's fine. I mean, my health is really low there, but we tried it anyways. Okay. Alright, so we're through the dock stages. We'll have our last Proto Man fight here. I call him Break Man, but everyone knows who it really is. This fight's interesting because it's actually the only fight in the game where the only thing that does do damage to him is the Buster. So you have to use the Buster on that fight. And then the other section that differs, well, won't let you use the Buster is the final fight, the Gamma fight. Buster does no damage to either form whatsoever, so we'll use the any percent strats there, but we'll see that when we get there. This first stage, so what we'll do, we don't have any lives left, so what we're going to do is we're going to collect this E-Tank at the beginning. There's a set of spikes right at the bottom of the first jump. We'll take a death there to take an intentional game over, so we can reset our lives here. Or actually, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep going. These stages are short enough to where if you do happen to get a game over, it's really not going to cost you too much time. The important thing is when you do get the game over to hit continue instead of stage select, because stage select will actually bring you back to that cutscene. Okay, we missed that there. That was the true blue strat. We'll switch there to damage boost past him. Slide and damage boost, but we missed it, so it's completely within the rules to fly over him like that, so unfortunately we weren't able to get it there. So this fight is completely random as to which way the Turtle Maker is going to go. We want him to go right. If he goes left, it takes him longer to shoot out these turtles. These turtles have a set pattern of how they come out. It'll be left, right, left, right. As you can see, came out left then, right? This one's going to come out right, but it's got a really slow pattern. Okay, it's going to be a quick one. And then another slow one. This one's going to come out to the right. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay. So this fight I've been working on here, this is the Yellow Devil fight. In the any percent run, there is a quick kill strat to do it in one cycle. In the Buster only category, I have devised a way to kill him in 3 cycles. Your average runner of this will do 5 to 6 cycles, so hopefully we'll be able to show that off here. We'll have some more BD spawns here. Oh no. Get it there, that's okay. So we'll despawn those, but we're actually going to use these bees to help us across here. Just like we did in Doc Gemini, we're going to take some damage boost from these guys to get across the spikes. We only need one. The more bees, the more lag it creates, so we're just going to use the one guy to help us cross. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to try to do this in 3 cycles here. It's very important. We're going to try to land 9 hits on these first 2 cycles. And that'll make it easy for us to finish the fight. The hitboxes on these things go away, so you can just kind of stand here and wait it out. Alright, we'll see if we can get this, guys. And I messed up the first cycle there. It's still possible to do it, it's just gonna take a better final cycle here. I'll have to get 9 hits here for sure. But it's just timing, try to hit those first 3 shots in right when the eye spawns. So it's all basically timing. Let's see if we can get it good. was close. Yeah, so you had better first cycle there. I think I only got like 5 shots in the first cycle. So, as you can see, even if I just got 2 more in, it would have been the 3 cycle. But still, 4 cycle is it's very good. Okay. Okay, so normally I'll go to the right here, but I figure we're gonna go up here. We're gonna do it this way. This room has actually been named after me. Shout outs to the KLM room here. So I figured we have to go through it. I'm actually gonna grab this E-tank here too, just in case for the refight. Since I don't have any lives left, I might need to use an E-tank on the refight, so we're gonna do it a little safe here. Or actually, you know what? I know I still have Victress in here. Shout out to Victress. Grab that guy. I never knew that life was there until recently, and I've been running the game for almost a year now. Victress, who is a great Mega Man speedrunner himself, and he hangs out in my chat, told me about that, and it completely blew my mind. So we'll actually just do that. That way we don't have to worry about it getting over. It's a little slower, guys, but I'll make sure we finish this run. Time. So I've also devised a way to kill this guy in 1 cycle as well. It requires a lot of mashing and timing, so we'll see if we can get this too. Okay, so the first cycle he's at the top every time. Any cycle after that it's random as to where he's going to appear. So that's still a good fight. Alright, so now we'll come into the refight, so all those annoying fights that we had to do in the beginning of the run, we'll have to do all over again in sequence, so... if I can get down here with full health, we'll start with Needleman. If not, we'll do Snake Man first, so we'll see how we do. Alright, this is good enough to start with Needle. So Needle's top left. Alright. So hopefully he gives us some better luck here than he did in the first fight. He's already shooting it. He's already shooting it. Whoa. Okay. Alright, that wasn't too bad. He did a lot of jumping and shooting, which it's come to be expected from him. We'll do the snake fight next. Hopefully not take any damage here. If we do, these guys each drop a large health pickup after you defeat them, so... Okay, so there I was able to shoot one of the snakes to decrease the lag. That's ideal, that's what I like to do if you can. Yeah, very small hitboxes though. So as you can see there, I missed all of them, so... Alright, we're gonna grab the health. Alright, so since we have full health here, we'll go to Magnet Man, just in case we have to do a couple of damage boosts. Alright, good fight. Go over to Spark. And then from here, we'll see how much health I have after this fight. Okay, so he gives us a pretty good pattern there. See how he gets a lot of hits in there. He stops right here. Good. Perfect. Alright. That's like the worst place for him to land is all the way in that far end. That's alright, we'll be able to finish that fight here. Alright, here we'll go to Gemini, and then we'll just go straight across to the right. We do want to, again, have like as much health as possible for the hard man fight, as we saw earlier. Okay. Since I don't have full health, we'll go to top first, which is over here. We'll do it a little bit differently, try to avoid taking any damage at all, so we can have full health going into the hard man fight. Just slide out of the way of those. Usually you want to do this fight in 3 cycles. Ah, we got it. Okay. Cool. Okay. And the last fight is Shadow Man. I have an extra E-Tank that I picked up, so I'll be able to use one there if I need to. Hopefully he gives us a good enough pattern where it won't be necessary. After the huge health refill here, if I do this fight correctly, I should have enough health to do the fight, no matter what kind of pattern it gives me, but we'll see. That's a really good fight. Yeah, I pretty much have full health here, so it should be fine. It's gonna be really shitty pattern so far. Okay. So when he throws those shadow blades at you, you can actually slide under him, so I will stand a little bit farther away from him. So that way we're ready for a slide, or... Okay, really good fight. We don't need the health pickup since it's our last one. Alright, so this is the second to last stage here. This is the Wily Machine fight. I've also devised a way to make this fight a little quicker by taking some well-timed damage boosts, so we'll see if we can show that off here as well. This first phase, though, we're just going to land as many hits as possible on this turret here, while trying to avoid taking damage from the orbs. That was flying around all over the place. Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's see if we can do this here. Okay, that first pattern didn't work out at all. Alright. Yeah, this is not going to plan whatsoever, so... I have 2 E-Tanks here, so I can just, we'll see if we can get this a little bit. Alright, so the idea is to take damage, and that way we can jump up and shoot him and try to get as many hits in as possible. Just like that. Otherwise, I mean, you're most likely going to get only 3 hits per cycle. This way we can get up to 8 in, if you time it right. Just use another E-Tank here, just to make this safe. Oh, I'm actually too early there. Alright, this should be fine. Okay. Alright, and then like I said, this is the last fight of the run here coming up. We'll use the any % strats here. So it'll be a combination of Shadow Blade and we'll use a glitch here to keep our iframes, but we'll see that here. If I can get this. Actually, but I'll show off a different glitch here at the end. Usually we'll use our iframes to go up with the top spin, but we'll try to keep this as buster only as possible. So we'll get 2 shots in the air, and what that'll do is once we switch weapons, it'll take properties of whatever weapon we switch to. So we'll switch to top spin, and those 2 pellets will actually take the properties of the top spin weapon. So yeah. So sub 50 run, any sub 50 run is yeah, a really good run. So yeah, so this is fun. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed doing this. This was a lot of fun. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.